Hey guys, it's Cardfight here, and today I'm here with a Gear Chronicle 2.0 deck profile. This is obviously a build with upgrades from the new booster set, so yeah, let's get right into it. So for the Star Vanguard, we run Timepiece Travel Kid. Mainly I'm using him because you can use his effect early game with a Generation Break 1, which is kind of when it matters when you are grade stuck, so running Timepiece Travel Kid. Next run, by the way, he's the Grade 50 Searcher, so yeah. Next run, for Chrono Dragon. Obviously he is the main character's trump card, so obviously you're gonna run that because why not? Skill is Generation Break 2. When this card attacks, during that battle this card gets plus 5,000 power, and your opponent cannot call Grade 1 or above units to the Guardian Circle from their hand. So, yep. The second skill, the Stride Break skill, is kind of last one. When a G unit strides on top of this unit, you can pay the cost. If you do, choose one of their opponent's Grade 2 or below units and return it to the bottom of their deck. Oh wait, no, it doesn't have to be Grade 2. You can just choose a rear guard and return it. But usually you're going to get rid of an Interceptor because less card is, yeah, gives your opponents less card to use. Right, next we run the new Legion unit from GBT02. He has a very similar skill to Chrono Dragon, except it works a little differently. When its skill is when opponent's unit is put the bottom of the deck while this card's in Legion, this card gets a new skill. When this card attacks during that battle, your opponent can all grade 1 or above units to the Guardian Circle. And the second skill is when this card attacks, if you have another column in the center, if you have another unit in the center column, this card gets plus 3k. So, in order for him to get the Maelstrom effect, you need to rewind a unit. And yeah, so though the condition is a little hard to fulfill, it's also better because he hits for bigger numbers. When Chrono Dragon attacks by himself, he's 16k, but when he attacks by himself, he's 22k. So with the booster, you can expect him to be around 30k to 33k, depending on what kind of booster you're using. And for Chrono Dragon, you'll be swinging for 22 to 26, I guess. So yeah, nothing much to say about that. Glory Maelstrom effects are always good, especially when it's a Legion unit. So yeah, it's a much better option to use than the other unit you got before, the one that just returns a card to the bottom of the opponent's deck. Run 3 of the Legion mate for this guy. Using him the Legion is really the only purpose of running him in this deck. You rarely want to use his effect because it requires you to be in Legion for his effect to go off. So it's not too great, but nonetheless, his Legion, the main Legion is still really good. So skill is when this card attacks, hits while your Vanguard's in Legion, you would pay the cost. If you do, choose one opponent's Grade 2 or lower rear guards and put them to the bottom of the deck. So yeah. And then we run 4 Steam Fighter Ambers, which is the main card that you use to get his effect off. So when Steam Fighter Amber gets boosted during the turn it attacks, when it attacks the Vanguard, you will pay the cost. If you do, choose one opponent's grade 2 or lower rear guards and put it to the bottom of their deck. So use this card, then you get his effect off. Though you have to attack with this card first, that might be a downside to some people, but it's not really too big of a problem. So yeah. And then the last card we run is the 12k Attacker. This card is mainly used to form 21k columns. That's really the 22k columns actually. That's really the only use for them. Generation Break 2, Generation Break 1 cost is not that big of a deal, so it's fine. Next we run 4 of the Generation Brick 1 gets plus 3k when a unit gets rewinded. So when a unit is put to the bottom of the deck. Pretty good card. Helps you set up a lot of plays. If you put this behind Vanguard, you can hit for really big numbers with this and Chrono Jet Dragon. Behind your 12k attacker, you form 21k columns, as I said before, which is also very good because it forces 15k guard of your opponent's hand if they're not a cross ride. And we run 2 of the Soul Blast 2 draw cards because putting more cards in your drop zone early game is very useful. And we run 4 Steam Maidens. That's the perfect card. Since the cross is not as great nowadays, you can run 4 per now. Since you don't have to worry about your rear guards getting killed off too fast, or too much. Next we run the Stride, gets plus 2 grades. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Just extra units to help you Stride, and he helps you search for Chrono Jet Dragon if you need it. For triggers, run 4 heal, 4 draw, 8 crit, and of course we're running the new critical trigger, which has a skill. It's move this card into soul. When this card, when your Vanguard attacks, and you have a grade 3 or above Chrono Jet unit with Chrono Jet in its name, you will pay the cost if you do. Draw a card, and your Vanguard gets choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets plus 5,000 power. So obviously, this card could help you pump up your Chrono Jet Dragon to a bigger number. A lot of times, you're just gonna attack with this card first, so you force 10k guard of your opponent's hand, and then move when your Chrono Jet Dragon attacks, you move it into soul, so he becomes a 21k, which is more or less kind of like this guy. So you're pretty much not letting your opponent guard with grade 3s. Not grade 3s. They couldn't guard with grade 3s anyways. It's pretty much like making your opponent not be able to guard with purple guards a lot. So most of the time, they'll be wasting their perfect guards. Not wasting, I guess. They'll be using their perfect guards on your strides, and then you just go. After you finish using your stride units, then you just go, wham, Legion, or use Chrono Jet, and then it's like, wow, I can't do anything about it. So, yeah. For the Legion, for the Generation Zone, we run 2 Chronos Command Dragon. Puts an immense amount of pressure on your opponent. Yeah. Pretty good card. For those who don't know its effect, it's when this card hits, you would pay the cost. If you do, send all your opponent's units to the bottom of the deck, and the cost is kind of lost 2, so last 1. So it's pretty good. It is an on-hit effect though, so yeah, it could cause some problems, but most of the time it won't. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't hit, you force the perfect guard out of the opponent's hand. Next, we run Fate Rider Dragon. His skill is once per turn, choose one of your rear guards and put it to the bottom of your deck. If you do, search your deck and call a unit 1 grade above that unit and call it the rear guard circle, and then shuffle your deck, and then for every G-zone unit, every unit face up on your G-zone, choose one of your units and they get plus 3k power. So if you have 3 units, if you have 3 units and you have 4 face up G-zone cards, then you can still only choose 3 units because because you can't give the unit same power. So yeah, actually you can give it to, if you have 4, then you can give it 4 because you can give it to your Vanguard too, I think. Oops, crap. So yeah, you cannot stack the power on 1 unit. I believe Bushiroad has answered that. So yeah, that it's an interesting tech to run. I wouldn't run too many of him because he doesn't serve too much of a purpose, but he is a nice card to splash in. Yeah, we run one Lost Age Dragon. Mainly, he's used as your first Stride because he doesn't really cost anything to do. So just Stride him. If you hit, your opponent loses a unit. If you don't hit, whatever. You just want to get the Generation Brick 1 anyway. If your opponent has a full field though, then you will try this on top of this instead. Try this instead of this instead because, you know, obvious reasons. And then we run 4 Ragnarok Dragon because Ragnarok Dragon is pretty strong. Skill is kind of lost 1. Choose a unit in your G zone called Ragnarok. Or choose a Ragnarok in your G zone and flip the face up. If you do, when this card attacks, your opponent call grade 0s to the Guardian Circle. And then if you have 2 units or above your generation zone, this card gets an extra critical. So this deck really restricts your opponent on what they can use to guard and what they can't use to guard. For example, if you know your opponent has a perfect guard, then you probably won't stride into Ragnarok. Instead, you would probably use these guys to attack. And then if early game, you're going to use these and hopefully force them to use their perfect guards earlier so that you can use Ragnaroks and smash their face in. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. It's a pretty straightforward deck. It doesn't require too much thinking to use, I guess. It's a really straightforward deck. It's kind of hurt derp. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for this deck profile. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Cardfight, and I'll see you guys there. Bye.